Hello everyone, welcome to this video series on Java Lab. So today we are going to look at network programming, right? So let's start. So like and share the video and also subscribe to my YouTube channel for notifications on latest videos, right? So I think all of you are familiar with what is a network, right? So network is a collection of interconnected systems. Okay, computer network is a collection of interconnected systems. Systems means your computers. Okay, so I think all of you are familiar with internet, right? So how does the internet work? On which, I mean, based on which model there does the internet work? So the internet works based on client server model. So this is a very simple model. So in client server model, you have two entities. One is client, another one is server. Okay, so the client will send request to the server, and the server will take the request, process the request, and then send the response back. Okay, so I'm repeating again. In client server model, there are two entities. One is client, another one is server. So what is the responsibility of a client? Client will send requests. Whatever the client wants, it will send a request to the server. The server will take the request, process the request, and then send back response to the client. Okay, so generally you can think of this request as a web page. Okay, so for example, you are sending a request to Facebook, www.facebook.com. Okay, so you opened a browser here like Google Chrome or something. Okay, and you have typed www.facebook.com. So that is your request. So the request goes to the Facebook server. So Facebook will have so many servers. So one of them will take your request. Okay, so this is facebook.com server. So this request will be taken by facebook.com, and it will fetch the page, home page for the facebook.com, which is generally a login page. And this page will be sent back as a response to the client. Okay, so this is client server model. Now in the demo that is in the next video, what we are going to do is we are going to write two Java programs. One is client.java, another one is server.java. Okay, so one program is client.java and another program is server.java. So what will the server do is the server will uh, open a connection. I mean, not a connection exactly, it will open something called a port. Okay, so in the next few slides I will discuss what is a port, etc. So the server will start a or open a port, and it will listen for connections. So who is going to connect to the server? The client is going to connect to the server. Okay, so the server will open a port, and it will listen to the messages from client. Okay, now what is the client going to do is the client will connect the server, and it will send a message 5 times. Okay, the client is going to send a message 5 times, same message. You can send different messages also, but I will be sending the same message 5 times. The server will take the message, and it will print the message sent by the client on the server 5 times. Whatever client sends, the server will display the same message on the server. Okay, so this is the thing I am going to demonstrate in the video, in the demonstrate in the program in the next video, right? Okay, so let's see the theory. So The popular model that is used in the internet is client server model. Okay, so as I already told you, there is something called a server which is going to listen to the connections from clients. And once the client connects to the server, that is when the connection is established, the server will receive requests from the client and it will process the requests. Okay, so the same thing which I discussed in the earlier slides, that is written as text here. And the second entity is client, which will try to connect to a server and it will request for something. So those requests can be access to a file or access to some data in the database, or you want to access some kind of resource on the server. Okay, so basically the client will always want something from the server. So to get that something, it will send a request and the server will take the request, process it and send the resource back as a response. Okay, right. Now the two important things in network programming, and one is socket, another one is port. So let's start with the port. So what is a port? How do you define it? A port is a point of communication. Simple. Okay. So whenever one system wants to communicate with another system, there should be some port. So you might be thinking whether port is physical or logical. Port is always logical. So you can't see the port. Okay. You can't see the port. It is logical. Okay. Now, how many ports will be there in a system? So your PC or laptop will contain so many ports, that is a total of about 65,536 ports. Okay, so it is from 0 to 65,535. So that is a total of 65,536 ports. Okay, so in these 65,536 ports, so 0 to 1023, that is total of 1024 ports are called as well defined ports. So what is the meaning of well defined ports? Means they are reserved ports. That means your applications can't use these ports. They are already reserved for some predefined applications. For example, uh, port 80, this is used for HTTP. Okay, HTTP is a protocol, so this protocol uses port number 80. So like this, all the 1024 ports are already reserved. You can't use them. From 1024 onwards, you can use them for your own applications, right? So I think all of you are uh, good with what is a port. Now, what is a socket? So socket is defined as a combination of IP address and a port. Okay. So who will have this IP address? Means your PC or laptop. Okay. So when will a PC or laptop will have IP address? Means whenever they are connected to internet or any kind of network. Okay. Whenever PC or laptop is connected to internet or any kind of network, they will have something called IP address. Okay. So this IP address in combination with a port is called as socket. Okay. Socket is also logical. Socket is not physical, it is also logical. You can't see them. Okay. So that is about a socket and port. Now programming. How do you program sockets in Java? Okay. So what is the purpose of Java socket programming is it is used to allow communication between applications running on Java runtime environment on different systems. Okay, so in our example there is client and server now. So there is JRE on client, there is JRE on server. So the application on client will communicate with another application running on server. So for that we need Java socket programming. Okay. Now we have different classes for socket programming. one set of classes is socket and server socket. Okay, so these set of classes are used for connection oriented socket programming, right? So connection oriented means it uses a protocol called TCP, transmission control protocol. So don't worry about what is TCP, etc. It is not needed. So just remember that we use socket class and server socket class for connection oriented socket programming. Similarly, for connectionless socket programming, we use datagram socket and datagram packet. Okay, datagram socket and datagram packet. Now, which package will have all these classes? All these classes are stored in java.net package. Okay, so all the previous classes, socket, server socket, datagram packet, these are available in java.net package. Okay, so in the demo I am going to use socket and server socket classes. Okay, so that is about the theory related to network programming in Java. So we will meet again in the demonstration video. Thank you.